Elite Facts presents
50 Random Shower Thoughts number 4.
50.
Something is seriously wrong with the education system when the most common adult nightmare is that you're still in school.
49.
I learn way more from people making educational videos online than I do from my actual teachers in school.
48.
Mondays are only bad because they bring on the realization of how much stuff you should have done over the weekend.
47.
Nursing homes in the future will be filled with old men discussing Pokemon and other games.
46.
Driving in a car is basically an interactive loading screen between two places.
45.
Maybe we love to play The Floor is Lava because we have a genetic memory of when everything was lava.
44.
If there was a medicine that could cure procrastination, I'd probably put off taking it until later.
43.
If I had the ultimate perfect phone, I'd be disappointed that I couldn't upgrade.
42.
If every U.S. citizen donates $1 a year, in 3 years' time, we would have around $1 billion.
41.
I always hated that part in the Spider-Man theme song when they say, "For him, life is just one big bang-up. His parents are dead and his uncle was murdered in front of him. Life is anything but swell."
40.
I've heard plenty of people say potato, potato, but I've never actually heard anyone say potato.
39.
When text shows up in a video, I always read it super fast because I think it's going to be shown for a very short time.
38.
The first person who talked about shit hitting a fan was probably actually talking about shit hitting a fan.
37.
What exactly did DMX give to us?
36.
I'm so used to seeing bad grammar on the internet that when I see good grammar, I think there's something wrong with it.
35.
When railway staff are late to work due to train delays, do they get the same disapproving, unsympathetic look from their boss as anyone else would?
34.
Shakespeare, as a kid, sat in someone's English class.
33.
Swine flu is the closest we've gotten to flying pigs.
32.
What if Snoop Dogg was wearing shades because he's now sober and protecting his brand?
31.
Bill Gates is probably the least qualified human to say, "I can't help the fact that."
30.
Washers and dryers should have a hair removal setting for removing all the pet hair my blankets and clothes get covered in.
29.
In 2017, when people joke about something a lot, consider it a very serious issue.
28.
Maybe the reason Gandalf was allowed his staff into Theoden's hall was because it was staff only.
27.
The 2002 me would not appreciate me watching videos on my tiny phone with a huge flat screen in the room.
26.
I always thought of the Krusty Krab and the Chum Bucket as fast food places, but neither has a drive-thru, and in a few episodes they even had wait staff on duty.
25.
Freight train companies should offer seats bolted onto empty carriages. It would justify empty cargo spaces, be cheaper than a theme park, cheaper than regular train travel, and would be a delight for the whole family.
24.
So if you think you're a hypochondriac but you actually aren't, does this mean that you become a hypochondriac for thinking that you're a hypochondriac?
23.
Roombas should go back to the center of the room when they're done vacuuming, because I'm sick of opening the door and bashing it.
22.
If cinemas sold popcorn and other snacks inside the theater instead of the lobby, they would be selling much more, taking into account that most people finish them in the first 15 minutes of the movie.
21.
The best sleep I get every night is the 9 minutes between the first time my alarm goes off and the second time it goes off.
20.
UK Labour is missing out if they don't use June 1st as an opportunity to run a May is Over campaign.
19.
Badass makes sense as a compliment because bad and ass are double negatives.
18.
If an animal, which is the apex hider, exists, we have no way of knowing.
17.
When someone hits you, they're also giving you consent to hit them back.
16.
Everything before the year 2000 feels really old, while everything after the year 2000 feels modern.
15.
The "it's an older meme, but it checks out" meme is now an older meme, but it checks out.
14,
The world before 7 a.m. seems like it's full of nicer, calmer people than what is usually throughout the rest of the day.
13,
Severus Snape would make an excellent mixologist or bartender.
12,
I probably look like a lunatic when I talk to my pet.
11,
Duck, Duck, Goose is setting our children up to be terrified of geese.
10,
Memes are today's version of lapel buttons of the 1970s and 80s.
9,
If aliens do exist, I hope we don't start an intergalactic conflict after they find out how poorly Earthling cinemas portray them.
8,
Having CDs in my car today feels like having an 8-track tape deck in my car in the 1990s.
7,
I feel like I'm smarter in my head than I portray myself as a person.
6,
Care Bears are basically lovable X-Men with checkered pasts.
5,
WinRAR is the only trial offer where I don't cancel at the end of the duration.
4,
Perhaps the chicken and the egg both formed simultaneously.
3,
Walking a dog on a leash is just like playing a third-person game.
2,
I just want a talent show without sob stories, backstories, and constant camera views of the audience and judges.
1,
How tall is the 20th Century Fox logo, and what part of Hollywood is it in?
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more elite facts.